Welcome to At the Table,
where we are connecting entrepreneurs, discovering missions, and building communities with purpose, body, soul, mind, and business with
Charlie
and Heather with Free Time Solutions.
Welcome to the table. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Heather, and welcome to another Mindset Monday.
Mondays are our favorite. We hope they're your favorite too. You've been following along with us as we've been reading some really amazing books.
Yes.
And I'm so excited today because we got to start The Voice of Knowledge this week,
Yes.
which I read yesterday. So go back and check out the reading. But oh my gosh, it starts out with a whopper of a topic.
Like, so grateful that we picked this order to read them in. Like, we didn't plan it.
No.
Like, we planned to read these books and then we kind of put them together and we're like, I don't know, these ones, right? Let's just see what magic happens. And making that decide one time a year for us. So we just got the books in January. We set for the whole year that we knew that this was what we we're going to be reading together and then discussing. And that's how we got here today. Right. So we've been reading The Mastery of Love, and we just finished that up. And now we're on to The Voice of Knowledge, same author.
And we're still reading Career Self-Care by Minda Zetlin, which we'll get into here in just a minute.
Which we'll be reading for a while still. This book is meaty.
It's pretty meaty. So The Voice of Knowledge starts out with the story of Adam and Eve from a slightly different perspective.
It's very interesting.
It is very interesting, but it makes total sense.
Yeah. So have an open mind when you're listening, right?
And then you go, oh, that's what they meant. Yeah. It's kind of like that.
Everything goes click, 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 click.
Just to give you guys a summary, I'm going to read these points to ponder at the end of the chapter. The mind is fertile ground for concepts, ideas, and opinions. If someone tells us a lie and we believe it, that lie takes root in our mind and can grow big and strong like a tree. One little lie can be very contagious, spreading its seeds from person to person when we share it with others.
Okay, all I can think of is the little farmers that farm the marshmallows. What was it, the story you told the kids?
Oh, okay. So, when you pass hay fields and they have the hay all wrapped up and then they like shrink wrap them in this white fabric, plastic
marshmallows in the middle,
and they look like giant marshmallows. So when my kids were little, they would always ask
about the
marshmallows and how the marshmallows grow. And so we told them that, sure, there's marshmallows in the field, right? Then one day, one of the kids asked us, well, how do you get them from big marshmallows to little marshmallows? And without a beat, my husband tells them because ninjas with chainsaws come in the middle of the night and they chop them up into tiny pieces and ship them off to the store. They believed this for years.
Ninjas with chainsaws. Okay.
In the middle of the night. So
the story spreads, right? So that's like an exaggeration, with their kids, but it's a really good example of like how it could spread, right?
Right.
Because now the kids tell their friends about these ninjas with chainsaws.
And that's how you get marshmallows.
And I'm driving along with B in the car, ninjas with chainsaws, and I'm like, what is she talking about?
It's marshmallows in the field. They're big kids now and they know that that's not a true story, but to them in their little minds it was true to them then. And so this is where our mind is the fertile ground, right? And even this there's stories in all religions about fertile ground and soil, and it's actually talking about your thoughts and your mind and what you put in. What do you put in is kind of what you get out. The second point to ponder is knowledge goes into our mind and reproduces a structure inside our head, which is everything that we know. With all that knowledge in our head, we only perceive what we believe. We only perceive our own knowledge and what it is that we know, mostly lies.
Ooh.
Right?
We can only perceive what we know
Uh-huh.
of our knowledge.
Uh-huh.
And what we know is mostly lies.
Mm-hmm. And that's why it's so important to really dig deep for the truth and find out what the truth is for you, because it's different for every person.
Right.
So,
and that's why, like, our out of the box kids, it's been so important, and in business too, to be that impeccable with our word, right? Like really, really saying what we mean, meaning what we say, and following through. I think it's important.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
Point 3. Once the tree of knowledge is alive in our mind, we hear the fallen angel talking very loudly. That voice never stops judging. It tells us what is right and what is wrong, what is beautiful and what is ugly. The storyteller is born inside our head and survives inside our head because we feed it with our faith. Now, our faith could be what's true for us, or it could be the lies that we keep getting, like we keep feeding it.
I like that.
What we believe.
When we were talking about it, we would call it the itty bitty shitty committee, right? Like they're always there, and we're not the only ones that have that. You have your own. Like that makes, yeah,
right.
Think of movies and things, right? Everybody has the dashboard.
Right.
Right.
You know, like the experience we had of I was all up in my head with time anxiety, and I did some digging, and I found out that the truth to me is that I haven't been able to rely on people to be there for me when I needed them. That's why I had anxiety about people being on time.
And I wasn't on time. Like, because my morning routine sucks, because I still want to wake up next to somebody, and I'm like, I'm over here bawling. I'm like, I didn't know that's why I'm having trouble getting up in the morning.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Okay.
We process a few things over coffee. Okay.
Right. So, and just like always communicating that and seeing why, and being curious why we're reacting that way is the only way to find out why.
And we've been able to support each other through that journey too, which has been incredible. Right. Because a lot of us are on that journey by ourselves. And that's why we're doing this podcast, is because you don't have to be on this journey by yourself. We're here with you.
Life is better together.
Life is better together.
So when you're facing these things, you know, and you're feeling a way, it just, you know, send a message. You want to send it privately to one of us, you can. Send it to a group chat. Send it, just message.
Heaven exists when our spiritual eyes are open, when we perceive the world through the eyes of truth. Once lies hook our attention, our spiritual eyes are closed. We fall from the dream of heaven and begin to live the dream of hell.
So that truth brings the ease and the joy, and the truth is the way to go, right?
Yeah. Yeah. There's it's like you're not fighting against it when it's the truth, right? You're fighting against it when it's not the truth. Heaven belongs to us because we are the children of heaven. The voice in our head doesn't belong to us. When we are born, we don't have that voice. Thinking comes after we learn. First the language, then different points of view, then all the judgments and lies. The voice of knowledge comes as we accumulate knowledge. So it's as we learn things, we learn lies, right?
Well, you pick up on it.
Well, and even in school, they only teach you half of the story, right? They only show you half the story. They show you this half of the story that serves their purpose.
Right. I always think he who won the story or won the war writes the story. Right. You don't hear about
Yeah. Well, think about the Civil War,
Mm.
right? The Civil War, it wasn't two countries fighting against each other. It was one country fighting against itself because of different beliefs and viewpoints. And what was true for one group was not true for the other. And they had a war over it.
They were not willing to change their mind. And we said, yes, we're going to change your mind. Right?
Right. Before we eat the lies that come with knowledge, we live in truth. We speak only truth. We live in love without any fear. Once we have knowledge, we judge ourselves as no longer good enough. We feel guilt, shame, and the need to be punished. We begin to dream lies and we separate from God. I see this shift in children, usually about 6 or 7. Once they go to school.
Right, and get around other people.
They start learning lies. That's usually when kids start lying to their parents. It's around that age too, because they're learning lies at school. It gets into their head.
And
they could learn lies before that, depending on how their upbringing is and things like that. Because let's be honest,
Yeah. Right. There was a lot in that sigh. Because let's be honest. Because we want more people doing this kind of work, right?
Yeah.
On themselves.
In the moment we separate from God, we begin to search for God, for the love we believe we don't have. Humans are continually searching for justice, for beauty, for truth, for the way we used to be before we believed in lies. We are searching for our authentic selves. Boom.
Boom.
Don't believe the lies.
All right. I'm excited to get into that book.
Right.
Right.
So good.
So don't believe the lies leads us right into chapter 14.
Right. The dirty little secret about success.
I thought this was interesting because I always don't know how to answer that question. Right? Like, how do you view success? Because I know I don't view it the way it's portrayed. And she explains how it's portrayed, and that I can see why I don't vibe with that. So then I don't know what the actual answer should be. Right. So I was excited about this chapter.
Right. I was actually thinking about this over the weekend. Not anything to do with me actually reading it, but I was thinking about when I was younger.
When I was young, okay. Yes.
When I was younger, I had this idea of what success would be like for me. And success for me meant having a decent car, not necessarily a luxury car or anything else like that, owning a home, maybe having some property, having a nice family, but I've never been a fancy person. That's never what success looked like for me. I like nice things, but it wasn't like I have to have like $300 purses and fancy shoes, and that's fine.
You don't have to have the brown bag,
right? And that's fine for some people,
right?
If that's how they measure success, but that's not the truth of who I was, and then and who I am still, because now I look around and I'm like, yeah, I would have to say I'm pretty successful because this is my dream. This is.
And you make your dream come true in your dream place, right? Like, it's like, okay, it didn't have to be exactly this cookie cutter dream. So you weren't like claws into the dream. Right. But it's interesting, right?
By not having a defined expectation on what that looked like, it really opened the doors of what it could be.
Right. And mine was pretty specific. Yeah. A mom and a wife. Right. But that didn't include like where, or like it never included home ownership, and never, like, that wasn't any of the dream that was supposed to be my part of the dream, because I felt like the other person would bring that part with them, right?
Yeah.
Where we would live, like that we would have property, that we would be taken care of, all of that belonged in this other category that would come with that partnership.
With the wife labor.
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I like processing this stuff. Okay. But yeah, it's interesting how that comes about, right? And then trying as I'm relearning who I am now and what the dream of the future now looks like. I'm not so specific, right? Like I understand asking for the things I need because I've seen it. If you do and you are specific, you get that. Seriously.
Like, down to the last penny even. I love the piece in here where she talks about a talk with my 19-year-old self. And doing this kind of work always like brings up the feels, right?
Right. It's a very journal laden experience. For me.
Yeah. I mean, and how your 19-year-old self would be proud of you.
Yeah. It's like I'm excited for some of the risks I've taken that have resulted in what we would label as failure. But the things that I've learned about myself and where I am today, I wouldn't be the same me. And I love me. So that seems really redundant.
Right. It's like if you had a time machine, would you go back and change anything? I don't think I would. Every single painful thing I've been through was a absolutely amazing lesson.
And I feel like those are part of my journey for a reason. And not just healing for myself, but generational healing and societal ripples, like just starting and having those like conversations like this are so important to me because of all pieces together, right?
It does. What would you tell your 19-year-old self? Hard one, right? Without giving it all away.
I don't know that I would want to tell my 19-year-old self anything because I would want to experience it the way I have. I might want to more observe, maybe, like, because I think if I got my confidence sooner, life would have been different. Like, if I think about the things, like if I were to go back and do it again, it would change the course because the decisions would be different.
Right.
Because I would have been listening to myself.
Right. And then you wouldn't be the same you that you are today.
Right.
It's a whole thing. I'm happy with who I am and everything.
When we forgot to pick up the bride for the wedding, maybe that was a sign. But then I'm like, I love my child. I wouldn't have no. Like I wouldn't take that experience back.
Right. I still can't believe they forgot you.
Supposed to drive myself with the broken car.
What's your condition for satisfaction? Are you again? It's that cat class. I'll be happy when. I'll be happy if.
Yeah.
Just
we've worked a lot on this over the last couple of years. So this was like going back and looking at the progress we've made for me. Because being happy now is what's important. And being happy even though these other things are happening.
I like that. Even though.
Yeah. I'm really good at finding that silver lining, right? And our friend Sandy was really good at perspective, right? Like even though something's hard right now, but what is that hardness making you do? Because when we're uncomfortable, that's when change can happen. So if we're not,
that's when change does happen,
right?
That's when things get hard. You
either figure it out or you cave into it and start the cycle again.
Right.
those are the two choices when it gets like that. We're going to cave in and let this happen again, or are we going to figure it out and move on this time?
Mm-hmm.
Which one is it going to be?
Which one is it?
And then the universe always asks you if you're sure. So don't forget that there's going to be that one more time, right? Where you're asked, are you sure?
And you're like, yes, I'm sure. Just do the thing.
I've seen this in like an abusive cycle too. Like when you're leaving somebody that's abusive, there's this escalation because they're so uncomfortable that you stood up for yourself. They're like, are you sure? 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 Until they get it that you're sure. Right. So, and some people, it's hard to get through that last little bit. Right.
Right.
I think in a lot of our things that we're changing, because I'm working on the fishbowl and I just got that image too. Like you're working and working and you get pulled back down, and you're working, you get pulled back down.
And when you get pulled back down, it can be a slingshot where that rubber band can break.
Yeah. So you might be getting pulled back, and then all of a sudden you're going to shoot right up out of it, right? So because you're yes, I'm going to work on this. I am working on this. I am doing the things. I'm doing it
right now.
I wrote it down. It's happening. It's a thing, right? But just that tenacity. Okay,
you're already a success. You've already done it. You've already conquered it.
Gosh, and that's right where I've been sitting too with the last month or so with that. I'm my own proof. And like there's so many layers where when I stop, I'm like, I am my own proof. I get up every day, I do the things because I am my own proof for this now. So
you are your own proof for this.
So
boom,
boom, boom. You can be your own proof too. And if you need some proof in the process, we're here for you.
We can help you find that proof for yourself.
Someone that holds the belief for you.
Sometimes we just need that little bit of encouragement, right? So that's that too. Reach out. We love you. And we'll see you next time.
Namaste. As entrepreneurs, we have a unique opportunity to make a positive impact in the world around us. In a time when the world is shifting towards supporting local businesses and embracing community-driven initiatives, it becomes even more important for us to give where our heart leads us. At the table, we believe in the power of giving back, and that's why we have our cause of the quarter. This quarter, we are proud to support Perfect Pals, a local organization dedicated to rescuing and providing care for stray cats in our community. By supporting local causes like Perfect Pals, we not only make a difference in the lives of those in need, but we also contribute to the growth and well-being of our local community. We believe in small acts of kindness, and they can create a ripple effect of positivity, inspiring others to do the same. As we shift our focus solely from supporting large corporations to championing local businesses and giving back, we not only strengthen our community, but we also foster a sense of connection and unity. Together, we can create a thriving ecosystem where everyone can flourish. So let's follow our hearts and give where it truly matters. Join in supporting Perfect Pals and making a difference in the lives of these furry companions. Together we can make our community a better place, one act of kindness at a time. Thank you for being part of our journey and for embracing the spirit of giving. Together, let's create a brighter future for all. Are you tired of juggling endless tasks, struggling to find time for what truly matters? We have the solution for you. Introducing Free Time Solutions, your ultimate partner in reclaiming your time and maximizing your potential. At Free Time Solutions, we specialize in helping businesses like yours thrive in a digital world. From social media management to website optimization and branding, we have the expertise to elevate your online presence and streamline your operations. Imagine having time to focus on what you love to do while we take care of your business. With our dedicated team of experts and innovative solutions, we leave you free to pursue your passions and achieve your goals. Whether you are a small business owner, entrepreneur, freelancer, we offer comprehensive services tailored to your needs. Our goal is simple: to give you back time, freedom to do what you do best while we handle the rest. So join us at the table and let Free Time Solution empower you to take control of your time and unlock your full potential. Visit our website at www.yourfreetimeback.com. That's www.yourfreetimeback.com to learn more and schedule your consultation today. Free Time Solutions, your partner in success. Let's make the most of your free time together. Thank you for joining us at the table. Stay tuned for weekly readings on Sunday, Mindset Monday, discussing our weekly readings on Monday, and on Friday, our interview and potentially guest hosts. Stay tuned.
Thank you for joining in on the fun. Be sure to like and subscribe for more.